freedom basically means the ability to make one's own choices and to act upon one's own choices. We call it self-direction. So the ability to direct one's own life, the ability to direct one's own achievements, the ability to direct one's own purpose in the world, and even to direct how one directs their lives and their achievements and their purpose. That to us is freedom. And so freedom really transcends, it transcends conditions of race or nationality or religion or social status or ability. It has to do with how one adapts. It has to do with how one applies oneself to accessing resources. The biggest, most important thing to know about freedom is that freedom isn't something that's given from external forces. It isn't something that is granted. It's something that one takes responsibility to find and claim. So if freedom is granted, it isn't freedom, because it is only granted with considerations. It is only granted with restrictions. In order for one to have true freedom, one must claim one's own freedom. And the biggest problem that blind people struggle with throughout the world is that they tend to wait for society to grant them their freedom. And that will never happen, because society is in no position nor has any interest in granting blind people freedom. Blind people need to take responsibility to reach for their freedom and claim their freedom. Well, it's a bit ironic because as a kid growing up, Batman was certainly one of my favorite characters, and I even designed my own utility belt. I was quite a brawler as a child. So I brawled, I fought other kids like Batman fights kids, or fights his foes. I certainly did not claim the name Batman. It was never a name that I applied to myself. The name Batman was first used in Ripley's Believe It or Not. There was a program done on Ripley's Believe It or Not about our work in 2001, and the name seemed to stick from that point. So that they called the episode Batman, and then in 2004 there was an article that was released in Der Spiegel magazine, which is it's the biggest magazine in Europe. And they referred to me as Der Fledermausmann, which translates the Batman. And then the Dutch took it up, and they didn't translate it, they just called me Batman. And then Discovery used the term real life Batman, and the Swiss also used the term Batman. So everyone started using this term Batman, and it seems to have stuck. Actually, my job was very easy. It worked very well because I'm acting myself. I don't have the challenge of pretending to be someone I'm not. They basically asked me to portray myself. And so all I really had to do was be myself. And fortunately, the directors of the film and the crew of the film gave me a lot of latitude and support to be myself. For example, if they handed me a script which contained dialogue that didn't sound like me, that that things, expressions I wouldn't say, words I wouldn't use, things like that. They allowed me to rewrite the script in a manner in which I would say things, in a manner in which I would express myself. And that allowed me to be very comfortable and very natural expressing who I am and portraying our work, the work of World Access for the Blind, effectively and genuinely in the film.